Yes, Mataji.
My cell phone battery. It took a little time to charge in the car. So, yes, please. I would like to hear from you all, please. What was it that you got from the Gaura Katha today? Maybe after that, I can say something. Anything? Dear devotees. Must be something, right?
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare.
So we started chapter 3 from Antya Leela, and we read a small pastime about a beautiful young Brahmin boy
Right.
towards whom Mahaprabhu was showing affection, and how Damodar Pandit, out of concern for Lord reputation, tried to approach Lord and say, but that was also a subtle way of criticism, subtle way of criticism. So that is what we read today.
Yeah. Yeah, you said it. Criticism. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah, I have heard that part. I was wondering from the whole Katha today that you have heard, if there are any things that you have gotten.
Hare Krishna Mataji, my pranams to you, Mataji.
Pranams.
What my take home is from this pastime is that the Lord accepts the love of the devotee towards him, his concern. That's the rasa Lord receives. However, even if out of concern it is done, Lord does not like the criticism. So that's what I was taking home. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So that was Chota Hardas Thakura's pastime, and immediately this one. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, thank you for sharing your questions and for the Katha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very gentle in his dealings. We have seen if he doesn't like anything, he would either he would say, I want to go somewhere else. And if it is in the case of Paramananda Puri, somebody elder to him, the place of Guru, he offers his respects and still gently says, if you can give me permission to leave. That is the most upset that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can be. When he is angry or when he is hurt. With the devotees, that's the most he can be. Of course, when the devotees are hurt, like when Nityananda Ram was hurt, Sudarshan Chakra comes. He can be that angry. So that's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this pastime, Damodara Pandita, again we have to remember that these are all eternal associates of the Lord. They are playing their role. Damodara Pandita is very intimate associate of the Lord. Out of intimacy and out of familiarity, how one can see a great personality, how one can dare to say something like that to the great personality, dare to think like that, out of familiarity, though it is with affection. Affection is there for all the associates of the Lord. All the associates, they are affectionate in their own way. And they are intimate in their own way. But they did not get affected with the familiarity. That we have to be watchful, really watchful. Otherwise, we will get distant from the sadhus. This happens more with those devotees that get personal sangha. Personal association. Vapu seva, direct Vapu seva. When somebody is offering physical services to Gurudeva, it's very easy for them to get into familiarity that they are taking care of the body of the Gurudeva. Like that. Be cautious, very cautious, that they don't even develop a thought of familiarity regarding Gurudeva, Krishna Kripashri. And the next immediate zone that are prone to are for getting close personals with the sadhu. They also, because they're just with the sadhu, they have free access to be with sadhu, to speak with sadhu. And be in proximity with them. It is easy to get familiarity in that setting also. That's why the etiquette is in place for our own bhakti. It would take too long to just get into our thought. But in order to save ourselves from hurting a sadhu, by even thinking in a familiar way, what to speak of, speaking and doing in a familiar way. What happens is, when something like that is done with a sadhu, nothing happens to the sadhu. Sadhus are titikshava karunika, sukhdev sarvadev. They are tolerant. They are tolerant and they can see why the other person is thinking like that or behaving or talking like that. They can see it. Even with the affection also, even if it is out of affection, they can see all the components of it. Okay, there is an element of affection, but there is an element of this and this and this. They are X-ray machines. They can see it. So, nevertheless, though they see it, they tolerate. They tolerate. Though they are hurt, they tolerate. It's impudence to think of a sadhu like that or to say something like a sadhu, but they tolerate. So nothing happens to them. But for us, because of the familiarity, even the thought processor, when it gets impudent, passionate, polluted like that, has to think of something different about them. It means I have gotten polluted in my thought. My bhakti got polluted. To impudently, out of familiarity, to even think something about a sadhu is my impudence. And it affects my bhakti. It gets polluted. My consciousness gets polluted. So it affects me. It doesn't affect sadhu. So what happens? One is, because his polluted consciousness thought is there, then one can, it may be in the thought first, and then soon an aparadha may happen externally with word or deed. It means one is putting a block in one's own path, aparada, in the way of loving service to the Lord. One is putting block, placing a block with one's own hands. And then what happens by committing that aparada in the words or deeds? It was already done with the thoughts. It should immediately be corrected when it happens in the thought. We shouldn't wait until it happens in the word or deed. When it happens in the thought, we should quickly apologize to that personality in our thought, and then quickly give due respect and honor that is to be given in the thought, and then prayerfully just offer the seva. That is good for us. In this way, our bhakti lata will not be affected by them. By this. The insects that come and eat tulsi plants, the white flies, they are like that. So in this way, the bhakti lata is prevented from being affected by the white mites, white insects, like that. So we should be doing that if there is any thought coming like that. If that is not done, then it's only a matter of time that there will be a block that will be placing aparada, which only causes more hurt to the other devotee. And then what happens? By making an aparada, two things happen. One is we tend to lose interest in bhakti. We wonder why we were a little devotional in the past, and why we had interest, why my japa was going well, and why I was feeling peaceful, and why I was feeling good situated in my devotion. We wonder why we were like that before, but why not now? What has happened? We wonder like that. And then we may think, oh, because I'm not doing this right, I'm not doing right, so I will put this formula, I will try to do this, do that. We may come up with external plans, formulas. I will really try to focus on Harinam. I will sit and not think of anything, and I will sit there instead of 16 rounds. I'll chant 64 rounds. I'll put this effort. Oh, effort ka nahi wahan pe. Not 64 rounds. 64 days together chanting also. With that mood of aparada, hurt-causing tendency, not much can happen with the nama. There will be abhasa the most, from aparada to abhasa. So that's why that is one of the reasons why we lose taste in bhakti. Most common reason is aparada to a Vaishnava. And even though it's not in the word and deed, in the thought, constantly going on. And our unfortunate situation is being in the passionate mode, being in the karmi world and just starting devotion. We think it is okay. We think, oh, yeah, of course. I mean, they are doing like this, he's doing like that, she's doing like this, he said this, she said this, of course. And it's natural to feel like this, yeah? We will think like that. The world of bhakti is very pure. So we think like that and we don't even realize that we are committing a constant aparada to a devotee or a sadhu in our thought. When that is going on, no matter what we do, no matter how much service we do, no matter how much japa we do, the white insects have affected the devotional people. So that specific point cannot be underestimated. To have something negative going on in the software about a devotee, any devotee, for whatever convincing reason the mind may say, we have to understand that we are digging our own grave by having that. intolerance about the other devotee. What to speak of a sadhu who is titikshava karmika and is tolerating. So we have to understand that this specific point cannot be underestimated, and it is like giving her grace. This is not something to threaten or put us in a paralytic mode. Now what do I do? It's not meant for that purpose. Generally, when we are in a passionate or ignorant mode, then we tend to go in that mode by default with whatever we are hearing in bhakti. By default, we tend to jump into fearful and defensive, depressive, fearful mode. When we are hearing something, the mode of something in bhakti, but if the ignorance is big in us, that's how we tend to jump and pursue. But all that we hear in bhakti is not to put us in that mode. If somebody is, if ignorance is prominent, then this about anything, about this aparadha, one may get fearful, anxious, depressed, like that. If one is really passionate, then what they tend to do is, when we hear about this aparadha, they try to act artificial. There is no fear that they might do the aparadha, but they try to fix it artificially trying to be nice outside. That's what happens if the passion is still predominant. But one has to come to these roots. Be careful. Why should there be any thought of God? That needs to be fixed. What kind of bhakti am I doing? What is this gush? What is this tendency to see somebody else in such a way, to think of somebody else in such a way? For somebody who is in the mode of goodness, even though others are hurting and he is being tolerant, he will still think like this. He will still think like, oh, why should I think he is hurting me? No. He is not hurting me. This is something that I have to set right myself. So I have to be more pure. I have to be better. Like that. So a devotee in mode of goodness will think like that, even though if he is hurt. But a devotee in the mode of passion, even though he is hurting others, he will not think like that. He will still just be jumpy, superficial, try to come up with band-aids, settle something superficially. So, and all these attempts and thoughts to do something superficially. But where is the repentance inside? Where is the repentance? I should not jump in and think like that about others. This stupid mind gives very beautiful, very convincing, not beautiful. Stupid mind gives convincing reasons why I can label others as so and so. I can judge others as being this way or that way. This I can. Yeah. This thing is entitlement. Because of this tendency, though they may try to fix things superficially, it will not last longer. And then what happens? If their sincerity is not big, if they're not sincere about bhakti, then they may just get distant with the devotee association and they make their choices accordingly. So, but they will not amend their ways of entitlement. They don't think I have to come out of that kind of thought, entitlement thought. judging and labeling. They don't think like that. What they do is, they just be with a different set of devotees where they can continue with this entitlement and judgment thought. With this entitlement and judgment, they look for a better label. Now that this specific devotees doesn't have a good label, so they try to look for a better label devotee where they can put a better label on a different devotee, and they try to continue with that. What happens when we do like this is, again, bhakti may go on. After all, it is all bhakti abhasa, just looks like bhakti. A social bhakti will go on. A social frequency match. That's all. And it looks like, oh yeah, going on. That also doesn't last long time, even if they go to other set of devotees. Because of this labeling tendency, entitlement tendency, this label will come on that devotees also sooner or later. And then they go to different setting. And after a period of time, they will lose. It's very much possible that they will lose faith in bhakti as such, faith in the process of bhakti. Though they think I have faith in the process of bhakti, they have done enough of labeling, judging around on the devotees. They get distant from the devotees. And even if they're in the midst of the devotees, they think, oh, I am in a frying pan now. I was in a frying pan before I came into bhakti. Now also I am in frying pan. How can devotee association be a frying pan? The mind is the frying pan. The mind with full of tamoguna, rajoguna is the frying pan. They don't realize that. They think devotee sangha. There is nothing like one devotee sangha is very much better than the other devotee sangha. There's nothing like that. All devotees are devotees. Devotees of Bhagavan. No devotee sangha can be a frying pan. Only frying pan is the mind. There may be like-mindedness where there can be a little gravity in hearing the katha. But there is no devotee that sangha that is a frying pan. Like that. So when somebody is feeling like I am in a frying pan, it's not because of the devotees around. It's simply because of the mind. If the devotees don't hear this and wake up to this fact of what is going on within them and how the mind is tricking them, this mind shows such a self-pity. Oh, you were like this before. It was like that. And now see how it is like this around you. Oh, yeah, this is not fair. Yeah. Oh. Self-pity mind. Tasmat Jagrata. So that will only eat up the bhakti creeper, and slowly the bhakti, it is not anymore peaceful, not anymore relishable. It becomes difficult, struggling, frustrating, and labeling others, as sangha as a frying pan, like that. So it happens one after the other. The cascade just goes down like that. Should be very vigilant, dear devotees. Very, very vigilant, dear devotees. So very vigilant with this, especially in the beginning stages of bhakti. Anarthas are like, they are very illusory effect of the mind. If one is not careful about this, either they would glide down slowly, and it's very much possible if there are no ties to be in bhakti, like if one of our family members is not, if they don't have to be in a devotee association, for a spouse's sake or for children's sake or something like that, if they don't have a reason to be devotee in a devotee association, if they're just by themselves, in no time they would just go away from bhakti. This is I have to say, dangerous phase. Yes. Have to be careful about this part. I have to say this is dangerous phase because devotees, this is a make or break phase in bhakti, especially with this the Vaishnava Prada that goes on in mind like this for a long time. So then what helps in these times? Yeah, when this is happening. At least when we come to hear, oh, so this is the phase and I have to be vigilant, I have to mend my ways. We should hear that, number one. That hearing can happen only when we are hearing every day and are being with the devotees. If that is also not happening, if we are not with the devotees and if we are not hearing this, and then where is the rescue? So one thing is the hearing should happen. Oh, this is a phase that we have to be cautious. For any devotee, the beginning phase, this is a phase to be cautious. We should hear, number one. Number two is, there is a great rescue there. The good news is, the rescue is sincerity. So if somebody is truly sincere, then they will feel like, no, this is my mistake, I should correct it. Oh, I'm so sorry about it. I'm glad I came to know about this, I have to correct. So they will get alert and quickly fix. Then wonderful, very good. Then there is no harm, nothing to fear. If they are truly sincere enough. If they're not that sincere, depending upon how sincere they are. If they're only, okay, a little sincere and they are in the bhakti sangha because they have to be, then they just change their preferences in the devotee sangha like that. But still, that entitlement mode that can go on like that. So still the risk can be there. So the deciding factor here is how truly sincere one devotee is. Then no problem. Then it's just a matter of mending the ways and then everything will be all right. And we have to keep an eye on this stupid mind if it still goes in that gear. Our stupid mind, if there are family members also that can influence us to push in this stupid mind gear, we have to be careful. We have to be careful. Be strong in saying no, Vaishnavas. We should become a strong devotee association in our own family, not yield to the mind of the other family member. And thus their devotion and our devotion. Like that. So that is all this is familiar. That is with the aparadha, with the devotees. And if it is sadhus, they're naturally distant. They maintain distance with those who are causing that kind of hurt. So then we will lose the sangha of that sadhu. That risk is also there. So we have to just be cautious in the beginning stages, especially. But later on, as we go on in bhakti, we don't even want to think like this. Thus, we will be in a safer zone because we don't even want to think. But in the beginning phases, we have to know that the stupid mind can trick us. We don't want to fall victim to this. That's about Aparadha. Yeah. And the last one was Gaura Chandra, based on one's propensity. He places the devotees and gives the services accordingly. So that's how Gauranga Mahaprabhu sent Damodar Pandita to Navadvip and then stay there as to serve his mother there. Like that. So this is what we have heard. So mostly what we have heard today is about aparadha. And anything about this aparadha when it comes, we tend to understand it depending upon what mode is predominant in us. If we are hearing this katha and are having an effect of fear, anxiety, depression like that, we should simply understand, oh, that is just because of the mode of ignorance I'm feeling like that. But the point here is I have to be sensitive and then be respectful to others in the thought also. So the bhakti cannot, my bhakti creeper doesn't get affected and they are not hurt like that. We just take the point. That's how we should do. We don't have to feel panicked, anxious, disheartened. That's one thing. Second thing is we really have to take that point and not just superficial, tend to just view things superficial. Just pray for the change inside and get there deeper. That is in the mode of goodness when we are really getting to the point and wanting to fix it. Right. So that's what we have heard. What are aparadhas in the thought, word, deed that can soon happen. And so we have to be vigilant that we should rectify that. Even in the stage of thought. And yeah, when we are hearing, we should just, that is the mode of goodness. Yeah, that's mode of devotion. The rest of it is mode of ignorance and passion. When we think, when our response is differently, in a inflictive way, that is mode of ignorance, and in a superficial way, that is mode of that we have thought. And in any stage of life, but the tendency and want is to happen in our mind, what to speak of in the word or deed. So we will be more vigilant and we will by the time be cautious, but to be careful in the beginning, especially in the beginning stages. Until we come to the stage of Nishtha, we have to be mindful of this thing, vigilant. And that's all. And the other thing is Gauri Chandra is merciful and he engages everybody according to their tendency. That's what we have heard today. And dear devotees, thank you, Mataji. Thank you, all dear devotees. If nothing from you, we'll just give a minute. And if nothing from anybody, we'll go with that. Sure. Okay. If nothing,
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, so nicely told, Mataji. When we are in, means when we are coming newly in the bhakti, and when we are progressing in bhakti, also these points are necessary. And when we come to Nishtha, then also some problems will be there.
Oh,
no, Mataji?
yes. Nishtha, Ruchi, all through the journey. All through
Yes,
the
yes.
journey, but by the time we'll get a hang of, oh, this is a trick of mind, I should not yield to it. It will become easier, effortless to just mend our ways and be proper. But initially, the mind can get really tricky and it still points out to others and doesn't let us get deeper to change our ways. Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Thanks, Mataji. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll go ahead with that.
Slokam.
Gaura Uvacha.